I am mixed race. Mixed race. I am finding out how many people cannot conceptualize that.
These are my racial observations, and I will not be elaborating further. When people describe something as unseasoned, it doesn't necessarily mean white. The difference between who gets called a single mom and a baby mama just comes down to race. Racism isn't just about phenotype. Ask any of your white-presenting friends what happens when people find out they're mixed race, especially if that mix includes black.
Being mixed with black doesn't make you black. Being read as black is what makes you black. If every single day you go through the world and people are wondering what you are and questioning what you are, that literally means that you are existing as a biracial person. You are existing as somebody who's racially
I'm glad you stopped by, amazing viewer. Comfort for Life Network. This is a place where we educate ourselves to make the world a better society to live in, without conflict, And we are here for educational purposes. And today we'll be voicing out for biracial people. And before we dive into that, let's elaborate on the term racial ambiguity. So when you speak of racial ambiguity, this term is for when a person's race background isn't easily identifiable. They don't appear to be what's commonly called monoracial or being of one race. So this leaves people into confusion. Most of the time, it gets offensive when biracial people are asked, who are you? What are you? Where are you from? Who are you? So this it's an offensive question, yes, but this is because people really can't recognize who we are, and we are here to voice them. We are here to echo their voices. We are here to listen to them. How would they want to be referred to? And while some biracial would prefer to be referred to as black, there are some who don't want to be referred to as black. We are mulattoes. We want to be recognized as biracial people. We don't want to lock out any of our experiences. We are a combination of all that represent us. So let's listen to them and let's discuss. I love interacting. I'll be expecting to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Continue on.
Biracial people's voices aren't being heard. And I'm going to tell you why this is so close to me. I have a little sister who I don't consider half because I don't like that. Her mother is white. My father is Jamaican. Hearing her experience broke my heart of how black people treat her. Is your hair weave? You think you're better than me. Oh, you think you're bad, this and that. It's heartbreaking. She has an experience as a biracial woman, and no one allows her to talk. No one allows people like you to talk, or you to talk and say, I get discriminated against. People think I'm better than them when I just walked in the room being born how I was born. I didn't do anything.
Why are a lot of mixed race people forced to choose a side? If they happen to look lighter in complexion, oh yeah, she's white. If they happen to have black in them, automatically by default it makes them black. What is the justification? The only justification that people have told me is, if white people, was to round up all the black people and have to send them to one country, then all the mixed race people would go too. Sheer ignorance. I am proud of both my sides. I think black is beautiful, Asian is beautiful, white is beautiful. But why are mixed race people made to choose a side? Why can't they be seen for what they are? Mixed origin.
I am mixed race. Mixed race. I am finding out how many people cannot conceptualize that these days. Like, you have to fit one label or the other. It's just another example of how you have to fit inside these neat little boxes so that people can basically know how to insult you, know how to categorize you, know how to pigeonhole you. You have to fit in these little boxes. And I think in all of that, people have forgotten that, you know what? You can be more than one thing at one time. You can be more than one thing. You can be proud to be more than one thing at the same time. And it's really hard as a mixed race person to have to keep on defending that, to keep on trying to lay claim to these things that are very important to you, that are a big part of who you are, but people keep on trying to take that away. I was really, really, truly amazed by how many people could not conceptualize or didn't even think that maybe I'm not just black. Maybe. Just by looking at me, maybe, maybe I am not of pure African descent. Nobody thought that. Okay. First of all, anyone that is mestizo is mixed with indigenous and European blood. So most Hispanic people you see walking around, a lot of them have indigenous blood. So in case you didn't know that being mixed race is possible, it's possible. I am one of those. And perhaps before you go and try to police somebody and try to put somebody in a box, maybe you should maybe even ask, or else you're going to make yourself look really stupid and you're going to waste your breath.
I'm from the UK, and here people know what mixed race people look like, so they will refer to a mixed race person as mixed race. Whereas in America, they refer to mixed race people as black people. Now, the only reason I'm actually talking about this is because I'm gonna have kids that will be half black and half white, and I will tell them they are mixed race. I will not tell them that they're black. Number one, because they will have a white father figure in the house. They will not have experiences that a full black person will go through, and I don't think it's right for them to primarily take up black spaces, for instance, if it comes to roles in films, because then that takes away from a darker skin or a black woman being able to get such roles, when especially they'll be able to take up mixed race roles as well. I do though think it's really sad that a lot of mixed race people who want to identify as mixed race are not allowed to, especially when they just saying who they are, especially if they got a white mom or white dad. Like,
I'm proud to be a mulatto. That is what I am. I can take that word for the definition where I understand it to be and use that perfectly to describe myself. I'm not black. I am not white. I'm a combination of the two. That word happens to be mulatto. By calling myself that term, I'm not degrading myself in any way unless I used it in a context where I chose to make that to be an offensive term. Words can have double meanings, and they can be used in different ways within their different contexts. I'm 100% in my right to describe myself as a mulatto. Now, you have no right to tell me what I need to be offended of, whether it be from myself or from others, because that in and of itself is offensive.
Being biracial, and some people will say to me, what are you? Well, I'm human. I wouldn't go up to you and say, well, what are you? You look at me like I had 3 heads. So it's, I guess the best way to say it maybe would be, you look kind of mixed, what race are you? But I don't know, it's, in the same breath, it's kind of hard to answer that question because, when you are a mixed race, you don't really identify with either or maybe some people do. But for me personally, I am kind of my own breed, kind of. My mom is Haitian and my dad is British, so it's kind of a mix of both worlds, and it's nice.
Why is it important for me to say I'm biracial versus just black? For me, I choose to identify and celebrate all of me, both sides. My white mother, Irish Italian white mother, and my black father, because I feel equal love for both parents. My joke is, I'll say it forever, pretty sure my white mom was there the day I was born. Celebrate all of me.
I can understand why someone would feel a little misled by her making a video saying, being black in Belgium. Because even though she classifies herself as being black to the world, she clearly is biracial. We have to start having an honest conversation with ourselves and just acknowledging that it's okay. You know what I mean? Like you don't choose how you look, you don't choose who you are, but it's okay to acknowledge what you are and how you look. It's okay. I look unconditionally black. I'm okay with that. I acknowledge that. So I can understand why someone would feel a little misled, or someone would feel like maybe you need to just tweak the title a little bit. You being biracial and ambiguous looking, that would give you somewhat of a different experience. It could, let me just say, it could give you somewhat of a different experience versus someone who looks undeniably black living in Belgium. Do you understand what I'm saying? So she might get certain passes that someone who looks undeniably black would never get. We have to start being honest. You can look at someone and say that they're black. You can look at someone and say that they're white. You can look at someone and say that they're Asian. And then you can look at someone and say, okay, you might fit into a couple of boxes. Usually when people grow up with both parents and they've created a beautiful, loving environment for the children, usually they will identify as mixed. You are part black and you are part white. That makes you who you are.
Being mixed with black doesn't make you black. Being read as black is what makes you black. If every single day you go through the world and people are wondering what you are and questioning what you are, that literally means that you are existing as a biracial person. You are existing as somebody who's racially ambiguous. I am someone who's black. Everywhere in the world I'm read as black. No one's confused about what race I am. So that's why I say that biracial people aren't black. I'm not saying that y'all are terrible people. I'm just saying that it's not black, and that's okay.
If mixed race people are so-called black, then it would mean that most black men, or all black men worldwide, could totally abandon their own fellow black women and strictly procreate with white women only and claim to be doing it in order to preserve the black race. Doesn't make any sense. And then their biracial kids with those same white women could do the very same thing. They could procreate with their white side and claim to be doing it in order to preserve the black race as well. And then their kids with white people, which would be quadroons, they would be around 75% European, they could do the same thing as well, procreate with white people and claim to be preserving the black race. And then their kids, which would be octoroons, they would be now around 95% European or more. They could do the same thing as well and claim to be preserving the black race. It would be kind of be like similar to Ronda Rousey. She has a very distant biracial ancestor, but by the logic of the one drop rule and labeling mixed people as black, we'd have to consider her as black as well. It's totally insane.
The question might be, why is it important to preserve race? We all know that in all instances of race, black, white, monoracial, biracial, triracial, multiracial, race is a social and cultural construct. And you all know that culture is a total way of life that is passed from one generation to another. So it is important to preserve race and its all aspects for the next generation. So leave your thoughts in the comment section. You've heard from biracials and how people perceive them, but I wanted us to really focus on how they feel about how they are addressed. You know, that was this video about. It was about voicing out for them. And yeah, I hope this video was helpful, and I believe that it was helpful to you as much as it was for me. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, kindly like the video for a recommendation, share the video, also leave your thoughts in the comment section. I appreciate your love and support. Goodbye for now.